Happy Saturday, guys. Hope everyone's well. Hope the Saturdays are going well so far and that this is the beginning of a great weekend. Can you guys hear me? The audio's good? Thumbs up. Okay. Fantastic. So a happy Saturday to everyone. Pretty sure it's Saturday, right? Dogs and cats in the yoga spaces. I love it. It's always a wonderful thing to do. We're going to start seated this morning. So sit nice and tall, find a comfortable seat. I like to start sitting up on a bolster and blanket. My knees just start off a little bit tight in the morning. So it's a great way. You just want to ensure that your hips aren't below your knees. So we'll just start nice and tall here. Take a long, full, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale and just sigh it out. A couple more times, just like that. Inhale all the way to the top. And exhale, let it go. And one more time. Inhale all the way to the top. Hold this one at the top once you get there. Maybe sipping a little bit more breath. And sigh out the exhale. Nice, guys. You can just be in your seat and just kind of notice the feeling of it just after a few mindful, conscious breaths, just like that, the calming effect that that can have, right? It's something we use all the time, stressful situation, throwing a few long breaths and everything. I think there's like the idea of just breathing lets the moment pass, right? It just kind of lets it pass. Let's go right into some hip circles here this morning. So hands on your knees if that feels good, and just kind of rolling around in your seat. Getting out to the sides, way out in front of you. And then changing directions whenever that feels about right. Don't be afraid to let your head just fall to side a little bit, or out in front of you, or slightly back. And then coming back to center. From here, what I'd like you to do is interlace your fingers, flip your palms towards me and then up towards the ceiling. Just get this nice stretch here. And we're just going to stay here for a few rounds of breath. And as we do so, I just want you to soften your shoulders, but then get a little bit longer from hips to bottom ribs. And just kind of feel your core start to engage a little bit to keep all this stacking motion. And then take those interlaced fingers behind your head with your elbows out to the side. And on the inhale, press your head in towards your hands, your elbows towards the back of the room. And then on the exhale, round in, bringing your elbows towards one another. And then again, inhale, press head into hands, open yourself up. And exhale, drawing in. Not too heavy, but just a little bit of work here. Inhale, press your head, open up this space. Nice, guys. One more time, just like that. Last one here, inhale. Maybe even gaze up towards the ceiling and exhale and empty out. And then come back to center here. Take your interlaced fingers towards the ceiling and then release your hands alongside your body. A few shoulder shrugs here, just kind of let all of that go. And then we're going to do that again, at least the interlace of the fingers. Flip the palms away. Take the hands back up towards the sky. Hold them here for just a few rounds of breath. It's a little bit of effort here. And again, while you're here, you can kind of make those adjustments, right? It's the shoulder shrugging and dropping down. So you want them soft without forcing them down. And then we'll bring the hands once again behind the head, lift the chin, take a deep inhale here. Now twist, leading with your right arm to the back of the room on an exhale. Inhale back to center, and then leading with the left arm, twist to the left. And then just from side to side, but lead with that back elbow. And of course, exhaling on the twist. And then we'll come back to center. Exhale to your first side again. Stay there. Now release your hands and come into a nice, easy seated twist. Spine nice and tall, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Spinning your biceps away from one another, whether you want to look in the opposite direction or not, that's up to you. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, just taking it to the other side. Opposite, right hand comes across. Left hand props you up, sit nice and tall. Whether you want to take the gaze in the opposite direction or not, that's up to you. Take one more inhale here. And one more exhale, and let that go. Now uncross your legs, extending them out in front of you. I'm going to turn just so you can see.
And we're gonna come back down onto our forearms with our knees bent and just taking some windshield wipers here back and forth from side to side. And a few things I'd like you to focus on as you do this. One is, of course, dropping the knee to the inside of the opposite foot. Notice what's happening in the hip space and your ankles and your knees, but also play with the tilt of your pelvis. So as you roll through center, kind of tilt your pelvis back towards you, and then as you take it to the side, kind of lift your chest and tilt your pelvis away, right? So just rolling it from side. Just kind of getting the hips moving a little bit here. And you should get this yummy little massage action along your tailbone, your sacrum, that low back space, opening through shoulders and all that good stuff. Nice. And then from here, coming back to center, lower yourself all the way down to the floor, hug your knees in towards your chest. Take your interlaced fingers onto your shins, rock back and forth from side to side or anything that feels good to you. If you want to cross one ankle on top of the other. And if you did one side, change the cross of your ankle so the other one comes on top. Beautiful. And from here, send both legs up towards the sky if you would. If need be, grab the outside edges of your yoga mat to support your low back. Otherwise, just hands alongside your body. On the inhale, start to lower both legs straight towards the floor. And on the exhale, send them back up to the sky. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Take a few rounds just like that. And again, if you need to, grab the outside edges of your yoga mat. It'll support your low back. One more round just like that. And then again, knees hugging towards your chest. Let's bring the soles of the feet towards the floor and then come into Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet touch, knees fall nice and wide. Reach your arms overhead behind you and grab opposite elbows. Get some side body length here. And then we're just gonna go Supta Sukhasana. So crisscross applesauce on your backs. Cross your right shin in front of your left and your left behind your right. Letting your hip flexors open up a little bit here. And then change the cross of your shins. Bring the other one in front, the other one behind. Let your thigh bones be heavy. They're doing most of the work. Try to find a pretty neutral pelvis without overarching or over tucking here. Nice. One more full inhale. And one more exhale. From here, let's get nice and long. So straighten the legs out in front of you. Reach your arms overhead behind you. Stretch from tip to tip. Nice. One more cycle of breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to meet in tabletop position, hands and knees. So you can either bend your knees, roll to one side, take your time getting there. If you want to rock your way up, please do so. But just turning to face forward. And let's go right into some yummy hip circles here. So shoulders stack on top of your wrists, hips on top of your knees, send your sit bones towards your heels, all of those good things that we do just to open up the space. Plus, it allows us to kind of tap into more of a listening part of your practice, right? So you kind of make this your own, see where the body responds. Nice. And then come back to center, knees wide. Drop yourself down into a child's pose. Big toes touch. Arms extend out in front of you. Maybe this morning, for those of you who can, press your fingertips in towards the floor and pop up onto those fingertips with your little cupcake hands here. Hollow out your armpits. Spin your outer upper arms towards the floor, but kind of suction your cup your armpits like you're trying to take them towards the ceiling rather than flattening them out. And then just throw some giant breath into this shape. Nice, guys. Beautiful. From here, press down, rise back up to your tabletop position, hands and knees, and then lengthen your wheelbase a little bit by either shifting your knees slightly back or your arms out in front of you. Inhale, come forward so that your shoulders stack on top of your wrists. Untuck your toes, and then just let your belly be heavy here. And drop your hips from one side to the other side to the degree that works for you. And just notice that your core can control the depth of this as well as the side to side motion. Beautiful. Then we'll come back to center, hips back and down, and then just some supported vinyasas. So inhale to come forward, exhale, lower yourself to the floor, whether you drape yourself or come down as one piece. Pull yourself into a low cobra here, or as high as you want it to be for a few rounds of breath for this first round here. Tops of the feet press, thighs firm, tailbone long, elbows draw back and stack on top of your wrists. And then pushing the floor away, hips back and down. Inhale to roll forward. Exhale, come down. Inhale, press the floor away. Exhale, hips back and down. And then just taking a few rounds of those, rolling forward, maybe finding a little bit of cat, pulling your heart through, taking those hips back and down. Use your breath, your inhale to bring you forward. Your exhale lowers you. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hips back and down. Couple more rounds just like that. Listening to what the body's telling you all along the way. And as you know, your hands aren't stuck here, right? They can kind of move with you where you need to, forward and back. We'll take one more round. And this time after that cobra, let's tuck the toes under, push the floor away, and send hips up and back for down dog. Pedal this out or anything that feels good to you, whether you want to find stillness, just don't force anything. Nice. And then from here, we're going to walk our way up to the front of the yoga mat and meet in a standing forward fold. So take your time getting there. You can shake out your hands like you ran out of paper towels. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. Anything that feels good. Toes, pointed head, skis pointing straight downhill. Nice. And then from here, press into your feet, ragdoll your way up towards standing, one vertebra at a time. Watch your fingertips touch overhead. And then pulling your hands back down, let's fold right back down through center. Bend your knees and plant your hands, step back to your plank. Whether it's knees lifted or lowered, come forward on the inhale, drop your knees or not, lower yourself down to the floor on the exhale. Pull your heart through, find your back bend, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So I say a lot of words along the way, but intuitively you know where we're going, right? This time, you're gonna walk your hands back towards your feet. Take a forward fold here at the back of your yoga mat. And then press down into your feet, rise up and reach it. Watch your fingertips touch overhead. Fold right back down through center. So the same thing we did in front of them. Walk yourself forward into your plank this time. And take your vinyasa. And meet in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Walk yourself forward to the front of your mat. So we're going to do a few of these rounds of walking forward and back with the vinyasa along the way. Press into your feet, either ragdoll or with a flat back, rise up and reach up. And fold right back down through center. And bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to your planks. Take your vinyasa. Once you've got your down dog, don't let me rush you, walk your hands back toward your feet. Press the floor away as you rise up and reach it. And fold right back down through center. Feet will stay here. Walk yourself forward into your plank. Take your vinyasa. You'll make your way forward to the front of your mat. Rise up when you're there. Fold right back down to center. Plant your hands, find your plank. Take a vinyasa. So guys, we're going to take 2 more rounds of these. Our next one is walking our hands back towards our feet, but we're probably all moving at different rhythms. So just follow your breath. You can always add an element in terms of effort of knees lifted or lowered. You can always skip something. But just following that breath most importantly, and letting the movement kind of tack its way onto the breath. And if you forgot whether you're supposed to go forward or back, guess what? It really doesn't matter. You're just letting the breath do the work. And the next time that you've walked yourself to the front of your mat and taken your vinyasa, let's meet in down dog. Beautiful. From here, plant your left foot, send your right leg up and back and behind you. Bring that right foot up between your hands. Find a lunge. Inner thigh scissor, send your heart forward. Hands can float or stay alongside the body or grounded on blocks of the floor. Just send the heart forward and push the floor away. Take 1 more cycle of breath. And then let's drop the back knee down towards the floor. Send your heart and your hands up towards the sky and sink your hips down and forward. Full deep inhales and full exhales. So recall we interlaced our fingers. We flipped our palms to the ceiling. We brought those hands behind the back. We're doing behind the head, excuse me. We're doing the same thing here, elbows out to the side. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, sink your hips. Back off slightly to stack shoulders on top of hips. Exhale and sink. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Nice. From here, hands to earth. Walk your right foot forward. Just inchworm towards the front of your mat. Ardha Hanuman, as you shift your hips back, your left hip stacks on top of your right knee as your right leg goes nice and straight. Choose to stay here or melt out and over, whatever feels better to you. And then we're going to add this little funky twist where the left hand plants on the floor and the right arm reaches up towards the sky. Keeping that right leg straight. Don't bend it just yet. 1 more cycle of breath here. And on the exhale, let's release that hand. Rebend the front knee. Finish where we started by coming into your lunge. And then step up. Fold on an exhale. Press down, rise up and reach up, everything towards the sky. And fold right back down through center. Bend your knees to plant your hands. Step back to a plank. Take a vinyasa or skip it and meet in downward facing dog, whatever works for you. You know that's always an option. Right leg plants, left leg up towards the sky. Round like a cat as you push the floor away. Bring the left foot up between your hands. Find your lunge here again. Push down. Squeeze the outer hips. Float the arms away if that feels good. Probably whatever you did on the other side. 1 more inhale here. And on the exhale, release your hands to the floor. Drop your back knee down. Press the floor away as you rise up and reach up. Offer up your heart and your hands and sink your hips. Again, fingers interlace, other index finger on top, flip the palms towards the ceiling. And then bring those interlaced hands behind your head. Elbows out to the side, hips sink, heart lifts. Inhale, maybe back off and stack. Exhale, sink down and forward. Again, inhale to shine the heart towards the ceiling. Exhale and sink. 1 more time. Inhale here. Exhale and sink. Nice. Release your hands to the ground. Walk that left foot forward, inchworm it forward, shift your hips back as you draw the toes back towards you. So leave a little dimple in your yoga mat with your left heel. And think of just drawing that left hip back like you're pulling the toothpick out of your club sandwich, right? One more cycle of breath here, and then we'll add our little funky twist. So I pop up on my fingertips with the right hand, left arm opens me up. Fingertips towards the ceiling, life through my fingertips, whether they're together or spread. One more inhale. Exhale and release. Let's rebend that front knee. Come back into our lunge. So back toes tuck under, drive through the heel. Nice. And inhale, step up. Exhale, fold. Press down to rise up and reach up. And then fold right back down through center. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Step back to your plank again. You can always skip this. You can modify it with knees. Whatever works for you. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Keep your feet where they are. Walk your hands back towards your feet. And staying in a forward fold here, bend your knees enough so that you can drape your ribs on your thighs. Then grab opposite elbows behind the backs of your legs, not hands overhead just yet. And hug into this space and find that little bit of compression. Nice. And then release the elbows. Press down to rise up. Hands will interlace behind your back. Puff up your chest here. Take a full inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Again, I like to go ribs on the thighs, but find what works for you. Use your breath to open up more space rather than cranking this one. Take one more cycle of breath here. Exhale, stay folded. Release your hands to the floor. Walk yourself forward into your plank. Strong in your plank here. Drop just your left knee towards the floor. So your right leg's back, your left knee's down underneath the hip. Float your left arm out to the side, twist open from here. Bottom ribs drop through. One more inhale. Exhale, drop the gaze and release the hands. Step your right foot up between your mat. Keep your, between your hands, excuse me. Keep your left knee down. Take both arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Take a deep inhale here. Twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. One more time. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Nice. Inhale to center. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Tuck your back toes under. This time, rock yourself back. So straighten out your right leg. If blocks help you reach the floor, then grab them. Drive your left heel in towards the ground. Your right toes pull back towards you. And take one more inhale here. Get a little bit more stretch through that left calf. And then on the exhale, replant the right foot, step up, and fold. Open up this right side IT band by planting the left hand in front of your left foot, bending the left knee straight ahead, but keeping that right leg straight, right arm up towards the sky, or in a bind. Tap your left sit bone towards the back of the room. Push the floor away and take all that energy up through your right fingertips. Take one more inhale. Exhale, drop the gaze, release the hand. Press into your feet, rise up. Watch your fingertips touch at 12 o'clock. Hinge and fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, flank. You know you can always skip these if you'd like to, and just meet in down dog, or take that vinyasa. Do bring your shoulders out past your wrists for those, right? Keep the integrity of each one of these movements here. Nice, guys. Once again, we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. First, give yourself a little bit of a hug by draping ribs on thighs. Change the cross of your forearms as you grab opposite elbows behind the knees. And then release that. Press into your feet, ragdoll or rise up. Hands to heart center. Widen your stance a little bit. Interlace your fingers behind your back with the opposite thumb on top. Shoulder opener again. Inhale here. You can always stay here, or again, exhale, hinge and fold. Take one more inhale. Exhale, drop the gaze and release the hands. Walk yourself forward into your plank. Holding your plank here, drop just your right knee to the floor. So left leg is straight, heel stacked on top of the ball of the foot, right knee underneath your hip. Float your right arm out to the side. A little airplane twist from here. Reach your fingertips toward the ceiling. Again, life through those fingertips as if you're trying to plug them into the ceiling. One more round of breath. And on an exhale, let's release that twist. Step your left foot up between your hands. Keep that back knee grounded. Arms reach up overhead. Interlace fingers with the opposite finger on top, hands behind your head. So try to keep your elbows nice and even here. Take a deep inhale, exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow forward, lead with the left elbow back. Inhale to come forward, and again, exhale. Inhale. Think of pulling the door open rather than pushing it closed with that left elbow, right? I don't know if you can quite get what I'm saying. One more time. And then coming back to center. Exhale, hands to earth. Back toes tuck under. From your lunge, and again, you can always grab blocks here. Rock back, straighten your left leg. Drive your right heel towards the floor. Get that yummy stretch down the middle of your right calf. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And one more exhale. Replant the left foot, step up, and fold. IT band here. So right hand, I just put mine in front of my right foot, a few inches in front. Bend the right knee, keep the hip zip open, even. Send the left arm up towards the sky. Smoothing out that left side. Take one more cycle of breath. Exhale, drop the gaze and release the hand. Press into your feet, rise up. Just to get all that length, right? Watch your fingertips touch. Fold right back down through center. Belly engaged, core engaged. Bend your knees, step back. Notice if you step back with the same foot each time, right? Is it the right foot? Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Oh, to finish that thought, switch it up every once in a while. If you do the same foot each time, right, just send it the other side. Okay, let's send our right leg up and back. Let's go knee to nose 3 times. If you want to drop down to on your left knee, you can. So on your exhale, just bring your knee in towards your nose. Send it up and back on an inhale. Again, round. Your shoulders should be changing a little bit here from your down dog into this plank. Right? And the next time you bring the foot forward, drop it up between your hands. Widen your stance so you can rise up into your crescent pose here. Sink your hips, offer up your heart, the same thing with the Anjane. Once again, fingers interlaced behind the head. We're gonna twist 3 times, but what I'd like you to do is straighten the leg on the inhale and then sink back down and twist on the exhale. Straighten the leg, come to center, so there's a little bit of balance here. Exhale, sink and twist. One more time, your inhale and your exhale. Nice, then inhale back to center. Arms reach up, open up warrior 2. Take your time getting there. The transition, crappy transition is pretty easy to do. We're not looking for that. So put a little effort into it, clean it up, get it nice. Drop your tailbone down towards the floor. There you go. And then from here, add your eagle arm. So right arm's going to sweep on top of left. Take your gaze over your right shoulder, sink into that front knee. One more inhale. And one more exhale. So pivot on the ball of your back foot to face forward once again. And then we're going to step up and cross left leg on top of right to come into full Garudasana. You can always kickstand that foot or wrap it behind the calf. But try to keep yourself square toward the front of the room. Try to keep yourself nice and long here. You can take one more inhale. And one more exhale. From here, unwind the leg, but keep the arms. Step back and then transition back into your crescent pose where we started. One more round of breath here. Warrior two again. Open up, quarter turn to the left. Take a deep inhale here, exhale, hinge and fold. And you can keep your arms where they are or release them down to the floor, whatever works for you. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Nice. So in that wide-legged fold, press the floor away, crown of the head reaches down towards the ground. Nice. And then from here, either arms out to the side or hands at the hips, press down to rise back up. Set yourself up for your triangle pose. So if you want to shorten this, you can. Tick the right hip back, tuck the right arm forward. Reach up for something bigger than you. Nice. One more inhale here. Exhale, drop your gaze. Release that left hand down. Now hop your back foot in about a third, less than a third of the way. You just want to be able to turn those left toes forward. Keep both feet grounded and both feet straight. And then the left hand's going to plant and the right arm's going to reach up towards the sky. So recall that IT opening from here. One more cycle of breath, guys. And then we're going to release that right hand down to the inside of your right foot. So both hands are on the ground. You're going to step up into a little malasana. So the left foot's going to come to the outside of the left hand. Turn your right toe slightly out. Sink into this space. And full deep inhales and full exhales. Find length here as your tailbone drops. Squeeze your elbows or your knees in towards your elbows. One more full cycle of breath. Nice. From here, hands will plant. You're going to step back. Think about what foot you wanted to step back with. Step back with the opposite one and come down onto your forearms here for forearm plank. Push the floor away. Knees can be lifted or lowered, whatever feels better to you. Strong like bull. Leg strong, heart forward. Karate chopping the ground. One more cycle of breath. And then lower everything to the floor. From a Sphinx pose, transition into a cobra. One Egyptian guy to another. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. And deep inhale through the nose. And an exhale out of the mouth. Nice, guys. Left leg rises to the sky. We go 3 times, knee to nose. Sending it up and back. Pushing the floor away. Be sure your shoulders come to stack. And after that third one, let's put the foot up between the hands. Rise up. Find your crescent pose here. Interlace fingers, opposite finger on top, hands behind your head. Straighten your front leg. Your back heel is lifted. On the exhale, back into your crescent. Bring that right elbow forward and your left elbow back to twist. And then again, inhale, straighten. Keep the heart lifted. Keep pressing the head into the hands. One more of those. Then coming back to center from your crescent, open up into your warrior two. Lengthen your stance more than likely. Drive the middle of your kneecap out and over second, third toe. Tailbone drops, all those good things. Arms float away. And then let's add our eagle arms here. Left arm sweeps, hooks into the right elbow. Square your shoulders in line with your hips, but take your gaze out and over that front, your left shoulder. And breathe. So picture where you're going, right? One end of the trip from the other. Turn to pivot on the ball of that right foot. And then we step up. It could be a couple of little steps along the way as you find your eagle bind here. Take one more deep inhale and one more exhale. Let's keep the arms, unravel the legs, step back. Find your crescent pose from here. Warrior two. Then straighten the front leg, turn your toes in, another wide-legged fold. So change something here, whether it's the width of your feet or what you do with your hands. If you want to invert, find what feels right. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Nice, guys. Hips lift, press the hips back. Take one more inhale and one more exhale. Okay, whether you bring hands to hips and squeeze your elbows or arms out to the side, rise up, spin on the heel of your left foot. Make sure that right foot's the way it should be. Arms float away. Tick your left hip back, tuck your left arm forward. Triangle pose for you. Chest, like there's an arrow on your shirt, pointing straight ahead. Find all this length through the right side. And take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, drop the gaze and release the hand. We're going to hop or turn that right foot in. So take it a little bit wider so that you can ground the heel, pull the left hip back, melt out and over. And then we're going to add that twist. So all that energy you get from pressing into that right hand, take it up into the left. So you got to push down into something, block, ground, whether it's underneath your heart or on the other side of your left foot. Keep revolving around your spine. Take one more cycle of breath. Exhale, release that left hand down to the inside of your left foot. So both hands are on the ground. We're going to hop the right foot to the outside of the right hand. And once again, come into your little malasana, your yogi squat. Squeeze your knees, pull up from your root lock. Any variations you want to take here this time, feel free to, whether it's getting the feet a little bit closer towards one another. And of course, blocks are there to meet you. One more cycle of breath. Exhale, release your hands. Step back to your plank, come down onto your forearms once again. Maybe it's a different variation this time with your palms facing up or palms pressing or fingers interlaced. Knees lifted or lowered. Just keep pushing the floor away. Take one more cycle of breath here. Nice. And then lower the knees, untuck your toes. Pull yourself into Sphinx with your forearms parallel towards one another. And then hands plant right alongside your bottom ribs. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice, guys. Deep inhale through the nose. And on the exhale, have a seat on your shins for a moment if you would. Just drop your knees towards the floor. You can always bring a block underneath you if that feels good. Just rolling out the shoulders, flicking out the wrists, roll them around. Take your hands right alongside your legs with your fingertips pointing back and counter stretch them, right? My wrists are pretty much in line with my knees. Beautiful. And then flip your palms to face up with your fingertips pointing back towards you. Nice. One more inhale here. And one more exhale. Okay. From either hands and knees or downward facing dog, whichever you prefer. We'll send that right leg up, back, and behind us. You're going to bring the right foot to the outside of your right hand. So if you want to, you can always shift that right foot, that right hand slightly to the left. So coming into your half malasana, your lizard pose. From here, let's drop the back knee down towards the floor and sink your hips a little bit further in towards the ground. Keep your heart lifted, and then if available to you, come down onto your forearms. You can always grab a block. You can always stay up from here. Nice. Okay, so what I'd like you to do from here, and if you've got some ankle or foot stuff going on, just be mindful of that, is we're gonna come back up. We're still in our lizard with our back knee down. So come up onto your hands. roll, pull your right toes back towards your shin, roll to the outside edge of that right foot, but don't let the ankle buckle, okay? And then take your right arm back and behind you. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you come down onto your forearm. Some of you might shift slightly forward and reach back for the top of that left foot. Take one more round of breath and then slowly release that. From here, shift back. So back onto that left, extending through the right. Nice. Come forward. Plant your hands. Step back to a plank. Holding your plank here, we're going to do some opposite shoulder taps. So if that means you got to drop your knees to do so, great. Otherwise, touch opposite shoulder. Try to keep your hips nice and even. And then from here, elbows to knees. And then downward facing dog. If you want to throw a vinyasa in there, great. I'm sure your shoulders would enjoy a day off. Okay. Other side. From your down dog or hands and knees, send that left leg up and back. We bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Set up your lizard. You can, if you did so on the other side, keep that back knee lifted. Come down onto your forearms again if it's available to you, if you want to throw a block to kind of meet you halfway. And keep the breath smooth. It's that pendulum, right? And then we'll come back, unless this is your jam exactly where you are, come back up onto your hands. Pull your left toes back towards you. Roll to the outside edge of that left foot. And then maybe you come forward, past the kneecap, reach back and behind you. And take one more inhale. And on the exhale, release the twist and then shift back, straighten through your left leg. From here, we come forward once again, plant the hands, step back to your plank. And then it's just going to be a 45-second hold for your plank, whether you want to come down onto your knees, whether you want to come down onto your forearms, whatever works for you. I'll count you out. The best way to kind of shorten the time is to count your breaths rather than trying to count the time, right? If you can take one breath in 1 minute, you'd be done, right? About 2/3 of the way here. Nice, guys. And take one more inhale. And one more exhale. Vinyasa if you want it. We're going to meet in child's pose. However you try to get there is up to you. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. From here, guys, let's make our way onto seated, facing forward. Cross your arms, grabbing opposite shoulders, and find your edge, that point where it feels like you're just about to fall back. So I've got my knees bent, heels on the floor. And then from here, what I'd like to do is bring my knees to bump my elbows, and then straighten my legs. Knees to elbows, straighten my legs. So it guarantees a few things. Your arms don't kind of momentum yourself into this one. Nice. And then from here, back to our forearms, windshield wipers down, back and forth from side to side. Should feel pretty good. And then we'll rise back up change the cross of your arms. So whatever it felt like you do naturally, bring the other one on top. Lift your heart, find your edge. And then again, you can just kind of, if you can't fully straighten the legs, that's great, but try to maintain the lift of your heart. Nice. And then come back down onto your forearms and drop them from side to side. From here, so close to the floor, make your way onto your backs, Baddha Konasana. So we've been working with this fingers interlaced behind the head. Go ahead and do that. And this is less of a crunch, more of just taking your heart towards the ceiling. So press into your feet, keep your feet grounded, lift your chest, heart, and face toward the ceiling. Lowering yourself, maybe not to the point where you feel your shoulders touch, or your head touch at least, and try to keep the elbows out to the side. And then we'll keep the head resting, press into your feet, take your feet toward the ceiling. And then maybe a few rounds of both. Navel to spine, exhaling as you lift. Nice, guys. And then from here, release your head, hands to the outsides of the knees, close the knees in, and then cross right ankle on top of the left, thread the needle. Should feel pretty good as you send that right knee out to the side, clasping your hands on the back of your thighs or your shins or whatever other variation you take. Continue the full inhales and full exhales. Breathing into this space. Nice, guys. Take one more round of breath here. Any variations, if you want to extend that left leg up towards the ceiling, feel free to do that. If you want to remove the hands and bring them to the back of the calf, you can do that as well. Yep. Some ankle rolls here, toes pulling back for those of you who've taken the hands up to the back of the calf. One more inhale and one more exhale. So release whatever you're clasping. Bring that left foot down to the floor. Bicycle pedal the right leg out a few times, and then find a half happy baby on the right side before we take the left side here. Yes. So just opening it out to the side a little bit. For those of you with really open hamstrings, take that right foot as far as you'd like to out to the right. Left knee can stay bent or straighten the left leg. Nice, guys. Take one more inhale here. And one more exhale. Release whatever you're clasping. Nice. Start with both knees bent. Left ankle on top of the right thigh. Keeping that left knee tracking away from you. Draw that right knee in towards you. Clasp wherever it feels right on this side. Keeping the breath moving. Keeping the ears open throughout your body. If it feels like you're tilting a little bit more onto that left side, yeah, bring it back to center. And then any variations here. If you straightened the leg last time, do so. Make sure that you're not closing the window between the legs, that it's still keeping that angle, that figure four shape. Take one more inhale here. And one more exhale. Release whatever you're clasping. Maybe bicycle pedal that left leg out a couple of times. And then half happy baby on the left side. Again, if you're really open, just taking that foot out toward the wall to your left, if that's available to you. Beautiful. One more full inhale here. And on the exhale, release whatever you're clasping. Windshield wipers or bicycle pedals, whatever works for you. And then find a bridge pose here. So get a little bit of energy up the spine with some symmetry. Feet hips distance apart, heels just about within fingertips distance, unless you want to throw your legs up toward the sky or a little bit of both. But push the floor away and feel all that just like a bunch of marbles in a paper towel roll, kind of moving from one end to the other, sliding their way down. Or those little rain tubes that are made out of bamboo or some wood, and they have the sand, they kind of just tilt from one end to the other. Just kind of feel your energy moving up your spine here. Nice, guys. Take one more cycle of breath. And then lowering yourself down to the floor. Cross your right leg on top of your left, or left leg straight, hug the right knee in. Find a twist that works for you. Just let the knees be able to fall, let yourself fall into this twist really easily, just like you're spilling over onto that left hip. Yeah. And feeling your breath move all around your spine as you inhale and exhale. And take one more inhale here. And one more exhale. Come out of the twist. Switch it to the other side. If need be, shift your hips to the left as you drop your knees to the right with that left leg on top. And letting the exhales be a little bit longer here to drop down. Nice, guys. Letting that top hip move slightly away. Take one more cycle of breath. And on your next exhale, rolling back onto your backs. And then any finishing pose that feels good to you, whether it's just hugging your knees in, full happy baby, if there was something you had on your little wish list this morning. And then dropping yourself down and towards the floor, giving yourself permission to just be here. Find this permanence as if your only job is to make sure that your yoga mat doesn't float away. Props on top, props underneath you, props off to the side, whatever feels right. As you're settling in here, just sort of picture that last time that you just sort of sat by a stream and just kind of were watching the stream go by, right? And you first get there and you sort of just take in the big picture of the setting, the base of a mountain, or just right cutting down the middle of a veld or something, and just kind of how you notice the whole general picture. And then the longer you stay there, the more specific you kind of find your vision getting. You watch a certain leaf come into view upstream, and then you just see it moving downstream and passing by, or a bubble, or you notice a bug or a fish even underneath. And just taking into account whether it's the stream that you're watching, the thoughts associated with that stream, or if something else is pushing in.
Just kind of be in that place right now. And let your next breath be deeper than the last. Take a long, full, deep inhale through your nose. And sigh out the exhale. Bring in a little bit of movement back into your body, whether it's wiggling the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. Roll to one side and make your way up, or however it feels good to you. Come to that seated position where we started the class, but bring the other shin in front, just kind of completing the circle. So I usually start with my left, however you started, just kind of switching out. And sit tall, press your sit bone down, rise up, bring hands to heart center. Drop your chin in towards your chest, seal in this practice, seal in this gratitude, all of this breath and openness that you've created. You get to choose what you put in back inside, right? Thank yourself for showing up, your fellow yogis for sharing this space. And I thank you guys for coming out as well. Let the rest of this day just be filled with the glory that you had here this morning. Light and life in me recognizes and honors light and life in you. Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Have a
you,
good
thank you,
weekend.
thank you. I'll see you guys later.
Have a great
Jill,
day, everybody.
Thank you. Jill, do me a favor. Just check to see if you got
See you,
the-
Sally.
Not sure why it's bounced back, but just kind of checking.
Because it's two different, you've tried two different emails, right?
I know, but I sent it, see if you got the message today and just text me if you did, okay?
Okay, on either email?
Tell me what showed up and where something showed up. I sent it into both of those. I'm not sure why it's doing that at all. Now I'm getting like delivery error messages. And it's Jill G. Rosenberg 818@gmail, right?
Yeah, well, let me double check. Somebody else said they were getting kickback, but this was someone who's not very good at email, so I didn't think it was on my. But I'll test it out.
I'll take a look again and just see if for some reason it's doing something weird on. I'll go through all the possible places and see what's up, okay?
Okay, not going into
Otherwise, I'll
junk.
just keep texting it to you.
Happening, this has been like a month, I think, of
It's
it.
been
Like,
a few weeks. It's been a few weeks. I'm not sure. I have no idea why. I'm going to go into your account, look at what email's there, because it just kind of auto picks them out and then things auto fill. But so there's very little room for error on my part, but I'll see. I could have screwed something along the way.
all right, I'll check it out. I'll text you.
Okay. I'll see you later. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.